Would you like to describe to the radio audience the hat that you are wearing sitting next to Bret Saberhagen right now?
By the way, crazy.
You were about 2 years old at the time, right?
That's right. I was 2 years old. I remember it clearly because I was born in 1983. I found this hat last week. I was in a box of kind of hats that I had. This was my hat from 1985, which obviously the gentleman I'm sitting next to.
It's the World Series 1985 with the writing looking so old school, like it would be on the sheets that you used to sleep on with all the other logos of the Major League Baseball
That's
teams. Right.
Uh-huh. And it's got the Cardinals logo, the Royals logo, and the way it fits, I couldn't tell it's from 85. It's bent and weird.
I love it.
It looks great.
Yeah. It looks all right? It isn't too high, because sometimes it's always a weird thing when people have the hats and they just went up a little too high. It's like a mix of a top hat and a baseball hat.
It looks good on you, man.
What if I wear it like this, just resting on top of the hat?
Now that looks fitting. Looks like what you wore in 1985.
Yeah?
Go with it. Especially with the fountains coming up behind you and the way that we have the shot. Now, Bret, I know you were before when you saw that we had the 2015 World Series trophy.
I'm a big fan of that one, but
I know.
Where's that other one that the old guy
the 1985
one?
Okay. Because you are somebody that we want to make sure you're happy. Come on in.
I love it. Thank you,
Kurt and Lisa of the Royals Hall of Fame has taken out your trophy, and we will replace the 2015 one with the 1985
look at
one.
this.
Oh, look at that.
Just for you.
Just the best. Wow. Thank you, Kurt.
And just like they say, and, well, what do you think of this one right here?
I tell you, it's an oldie but a goodie. I tell you, it always brings back unbelievable memories. This place where Paul grew up is home away from home for me. I get probably back to Kansas City probably 3-4 times, 5 times a year. I've already been this third visit this year already, and it's kind of cool. Salvi and we actually did a little thing a couple weeks ago, raising money for the charity in that meet and greet with the 2 World Series MVPs.
Salvador Perez, you're
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so they brought out both trophies then, and it's always good to see Salvi. Salvi's a great ambassador of the game and a great player, and loved in Kansas City.
And again, because we're trying to make sure you are happy, Bret Saberhagen, certainly since Paul
You got a
Rudd,
smile on me.
I know that. As they say in the game show business, but wait, there's more.
What?
They took the Cy Young Awards, the two of them, and we have those right here. You can put them right here on the desk if you don't mind. That's one.
Look at this.
One Cy Young
I've never
Award.
seen one of these in person.
A Cy Young Award.
Never,
I will
never.
be careful. Don't you worry. You got them all set up.
All right.
Okay.
You guys are...
There you go.
I think I'm going to have to tip you very well for all this.
Well, thanks, Kurt and Lisa. I appreciate you unloading the vault.
So you don't get to keep these? These stay here?
Replicas.
These are replicas.
This is not a replica. Those are replicas.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
But, Paul, we have some nice parting gifts for you.
What do you
Tell Paul what he's won, everybody.
A jar of turtle wax.
You get a 1985 World Series hat. Now, is it true, Paul, that for that famed Game 6, that famed Don Denkinger call at the first base line right here in this here stadium, you were here for that game, as were 2 other hosts of the Big Slick.
That's right. We were we didn't know each other then, but we were all at that game. I was sitting right over there, just opposite the just off third base, behind the dugout.
Right.
And it was the greatest game I've ever been to. I mean, I was there for just recently too, but I never remember when they won that game. No one left the stadium, and I remember everybody hugging each other in the stands. And 20 minutes later, after the game, everybody was still there.
He's a huge fan, though. When we first met was 2014.
Yeah.
You were up in the suite over there, and somebody mentioned, hey, Paul's up there. Would you like to meet him? And I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. So I came up and met your family, and we've been friends for a long time, but a huge Royals fan. He's at all the games.
Yeah, it was quite a thrill to meet Bret, for sure.
I was about to say, because I know you, and
just
I know...
hearing him say that, I'm like, give me a break. Even sitting here wearing my hat from the series and sitting next to Bret Saberhagen.
And the trophy, and the 2 replicas of the Cy Young. It's difficult to see you over these things, by the way. They're sitting right here between us. Who were the other 2 Big Slickers hosts who were in the stadium that night?
Well, Sudeikis was there, and Riggle was there.
Who had the best seats? Do we know who had the best seats?
I don't know. You know, I had pretty good. Of that series. I got to go to Game 2 and Game 6, and I guess my dad had some tickets to Game 7, but had given them away. So I didn't get to go to Game 7, and instead I had to work at a grocery store, sacking groceries, and nobody came in. So but the boss.
Wait, you were bagging groceries?
I was
during
bagging
Game 7
groceries for
of the
Game
1985
7 at work, but not really because nobody was even in the store. Everyone was home watching the game. But the boss made me go clean the bathrooms while he sat up front and watched the game on TV, and I didn't get to even. I'd come in and check in, and
Sounds like a crappy job.
It was terrible.
What was your boss's name? Let's get
his name was Ed, and I've called him out already on shows because I never got over it. Furious. This is the worst thing to do to somebody. I'd come up, I'd say, "What happened?" He goes, "Daryl Motley just hit a home run." Go! And then and they go back to the toilets.
Grab a mop.
Go rearrange the milk.
What was it like around here, Brett, in '85 when that happened here in Kansas City?
You know, what was really kind of cool was the governor's train. From what I've been told, my mom was on it, so it went from Kansas City and right up to St. Louis, and so you went from towns with blue, and the Royals, of course, you know, everybody's wearing blue here, and the further you got towards St. Louis, it became a kind of a mixture of red and blue, you know, the supporting. And then by the time you got to St. Louis, it was all pretty much red. So the fans have always been just tremendous fans here. And I don't know if since the stadium has changed, that it's a lot louder, because when I was here for 2014, playoffs and World Series, and then 2015, this stadium seems like it's so much louder, maybe because I was down in the thick of things and it kind of toned that out a little bit, but this stadium was rocking in 2014 and 15.
Yeah.
It was very loud.
And I know you went to some of those games in New York too, Paul. I know you were.
What?
You went to. I know you can't hear me over the.
The Cy Young Award is getting.
It's getting
in the way.
I know you went to some of those games in New York as well.
I did. I went.
Did you go to every game?
I went to everyone. I came to everyone
Dude.
out here in 2014 and everyone in 2015 too, and playoffs. Yeah.
I think he had a little bit better seats.
Yeah, this time than you
Not
did.
so much. No, not so. They were. Yeah, they were okay.
Well, compared to the bathroom.
better than in '85.
Let's put it this way: you were not scrubbing toilets.
I was definitely not scrubbing
And Ed,
toilets.
where was Ed? Was Ed here? Was Ed?
Yeah, you
Where
know
is
what?
Ed?
I think Ed might have been at Price Chopper or something, bagging groceries.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.